The Oblivion remaster has been the talk of the town, and it's no wonder. Its and subsequent release
Yeah, it
is an
kinda
event
popped
that
off.
breathed new life into the existing fanbase, and it also opened the door, or an Oblivion gate, for a lot of new players that haven't experienced the game before. Though most of the responses and discourse around the
Angelica thought she's so fun, by the way. She's a proper gamer girl.
game has been overwhelmingly positive, and
Yep.
I think deservedly so. There have been a few things
Yeah.
that have sparked controversy right off the bat and resulted in some heated debates around the internet. But even with all of that, it hasn't actually hurt the game in any way. People that had some issues just modded them out and moved on. Though I myself am very positive about this release, and I've really been enjoying playing
Yeah, I've
the
enjoyed
game,
it too.
there are a few things that I've noticed that don't really make sense to me, or I guess I just don't really understand why they would go out of their way to change them. It seems that in the remaster, female characters and depictions of women in general have been noticeably toned down, or
I did not notice this. So I watched, I put about 15 or 18 hours into Oblivion Remaster. I play on Twitch, by the way.
even censored. While they may seem
Like
like small
what?
things if you come across them, and I
Censored.
don't actually think they ruined the game, if you look at the bigger picture and how many things were affected by these particular changes, you'll start to notice a bit of a pattern that is perhaps setting a precedent and a new standard for future Elder Scrolls games and really games in general. Unfortunately, I think that a lot of these changes were made while ignoring the deeper context of the world, and it's not entirely clear
Let's see
what
an
the
example of
purpose
this.
of making these changes was. There definitely was some sort of a purpose, because it cannot be
What was the change here?
Yeah, is it because did they make it flatter? Is that it? What's wrong with boobs? I don't get it.
Like, what was the change?
Or the clothing?
Did they make that? Is it a boob reduction? Okay.
Oh, yes, it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I
What?
could expect that. Watch the video. Okay, she wasn't explaining it at the beginning, so I assumed. I wasn't sure if she just assumed that the audience knew what the difference was.
Keep going, you'll see.
a
Okay.
coincidence that all of these things were changed, but again, it's just not clear because there is a bit of inconsistency there as well. Today we're going to talk about the changes and some of the censorship affecting female characters in the game, and the kind of message that perhaps unintentionally or maybe intentionally it sends. Before we get started, hi, my name is Angelica, and I'm planning to do a sort of a special live stream soon to celebrate 100k. This is going to be kind of like
That's what I did.
Q&A style live stream. We haven't done one of those since before I had even less than 20k subscribers, so I thought that it would be a really good time to repeat that. But before we can do the stream, a very special package has to arrive, so stay
Okay.
tuned for that.
Cool.
Now, in my last video, I
Good for
noticed
her.
maybe one or two subtle things when analyzing the clothing in the game that kind of surprised me in terms of the changes that were made and why would they have changed that. Some pieces used to be a bit
Okay.
more off-shoulder, for example. Others accentuated the curves and the figure of your character a lot more.
What a surprise. Toning down the sexuality of the game in order to make mentally ill, probably fat women happy.
You know what's strange about this? Is that we have gone full circle. So initially, man, this is going to be so clipped. So initially we went from feminism going into women's right to vote. I agree with that. You know, talking about women voice and all that, okay? And then they went so around when it comes to modern activism that now they find female beauty offensive to a point that they are changing the clothes and inadvertently getting more on the Puritan side. It feels like now they went so far left that they turned the way around and they are trying to censor the same way an ultra-conservative, like old school, is like, don't show any cleavage. Like, what's going on? We're going all the way around. We're going all the way around for different reasons, I guess. But still. What on earth? How did that happen? You know, in the 50s, in the 60s, like not 50s in fact, but the 60s, the 70s, women saying, no, we can dress down how we want, to hire shirt, look, freedom. Then to, oh no, you need to cover up. Man, how does that happen?
They weren't afraid to show a little bit more skin in something low cut. That
Yeah.
said, I don't think that the original version of Oblivion was ever particularly out there or
No, it wasn't.
sexy. Sure, their clothes may have appeared more flattering, but I thought that it was all very reasonable and it didn't ever raise any eyebrows. Other than that, everybody
Yeah.
was equally a potato. Some potatoes were just very feminine. It fit the world perfectly.
Sure.
The remastered version has hidden much of what I said in the previous video, gave flair and an attitude to certain things. Others have been just straight up changed in what kind of feels like an attempt at censorship.
It's absolutely censorship. It's not even a question.
Yeah.
This is what's happened with like 10 or 20 different video games. Like, I mean, how many times does it have to happen before people think that it's happening? It's obviously happening.
He's right.
I couldn't really care less, though. I think that you should care. Because the reason why you should care is because it indicates that people care more about making sure that this video game is congruent with their current world values than
Right.
making an experience that the audience wants. And you should ask yourself this question.
That's it.
Is this what the audience wants to see?
No.
And the answer to that is probably no, right? Like, I think that we would all come to the conclusion that the answer to that
In majority, absolutely. A game should be made for gamers.
is no. And so when the answer to the question, does the audience want to see this, yes or no, is no, then why does it exist? Why are they putting something in the game that players don't want?
Yeah.
And
That's
also-
in fact, I agree with him. That's what happened with Lords of the Fallen. I actually respect the creator because they made a poll and they asked people, do you want body type 1, body type 2, or do you want male and female? And they promised that they would have implemented that based on the majority vote. And now, you can tell me all you want that the vote was skewed because they did it on Twitter, and you may think that because they did it on Twitter, then this may have been that there was like a right-wing bias into it, even though there are people who are left-wing. But I understand that maybe if they had done that on Blue Sky Social, the reviews would have been different. But let's be honest about it. Even though by doing the poll on Twitter, they got like an 85-90% towards male and female, even if they didn't use Twitter and they went into a more neutral, I suppose, platform. And I'm not accepting necessarily the counter argument, but I'm fleshing it out for the sake of argument and taking it at face value. It's still a fact that, yeah, you may have changed the percentages a little bit, but still the majority of players prefer male and female. So the fact that they did follow that is something that I respect. And of course, if it was the other way around and 80% of people said, no, body type, I love it. Body type it is then. It's for the gamers, it's for the players, and I appreciate when developers do that.
Person who will do that doesn't respect you. They don't respect what you want. They don't respect the type of game that you
So don't give him money.
might want to play. They only want to push their idea onto you. And
Yeah.
that's it.
True.
And that will not stop at, like cleavage or whatever. This will happen to everything because this is why all of these woke games are garbage. The reason why all of these woke games are garbage is because the people making them don't care about the audience.